is up and running correctly, which it should be. I suspect it should. Yeah, that's looking about right. Get everything booted up. Jump into streaming. While other things occur in the background that I gotta keep an eye on today. Here we go. Let's see if we are a suitable level for continuing the big dungeon. Look at us doing some actual combat in this RPG today.
Bring it on. It's my turn.
I want to get to the point where I can start winning enough from each match to pay for a Poundmate summon. Because then I can start really cracking through this dungeon somewhat. Okay, we're looking at the mid-30 levels. Yeah, basic melee attacks should be enough for this. I'm just gonna basic melee for the minute anyway. How is everyone doing? I apologize for a slightly later than planned start to the stream today. I've been juggling some projects. They've required a bit of bouncing about, doing things. Finally, some of my secret projects are gonna start actually fucking surfacing soon, so that's nice. All the things that I've been in the background working on are starting to be ready. Hey Bellabean, hey Artist Synth. Active Criticism says, good evening dungeon crawlers. Yeah, considering that like we've done several streams in a row which are just like Kiryu having like emotions with people from his past, I'm like, I'm in the mood to just beat some people up in an RPG. Just do some silly nonsense attacks for a bit today. Bellabean says, I'm currently considering whether to buy the flat I'm looking at or not. Thank you for the distraction with the stream. I'll do my best. That's big questions, and sometimes you don't want big thoughts, you just want, can this man use his sword to beat up a man who's throwing pollen in your face? I can finally be vaguely, I can at least like start discussing something I can talk about soon. I've got a piece going up on BAFTA's website tomorrow, I can say that much. I'm excited about that. I won't go into any specifics, but hey, BAFTA announced today that they're giving an award to an accessibility-focused charity, and maybe I have a piece going up on BAFTA's website tomorrow. So that's exciting. I've been sat on that for a bit. Getting asked to... The Fancy Game Awards people have asked me to write a thing, and I wrote a thing.
I feel so
No thoughts, head Sujimon. Exactly. No, I can say a couple of things. Like I finally got review code now for one of the games from last year's Accessibility Summer Showcase. I got review code for, which I'm excited to talk about once I can talk about that. So I'm going to be playing through that soon. I've been burying my head in Theatre Rhythm Final Bar Line, the Final Fantasy music rhythm game. That's pretty fucking cool. That has taken up at least some of my day today. I did a 2-hour-long interview for a magazine about accessibility for a big feature that's being worked on, so that was fun. I got to spend like 2 hours talking about the historical state of accessibility and the current state and the future state of accessibility. I don't know when that's going out, but I got to spend a couple of hours today sharing all my accessibility thoughts at someone, which was nice. Hey, Dandelion. Oh yeah, let's tag team this.
Let's finish it together. We only need one.
Bellabean says Final Fantasy music is cool. Yeah, Podquisition tomorrow is going to talk quite extensively about Theatre Rhythm Final Bar Line. Steph talked about this game a lot about this time last year. They were going through a rough patch, and this game was a real godsend for him. And yeah, it's got its hooks in me. I understand the love for it. Right, dungeon crawl. Here we go.
Oh, treasure ahoy!
But yes, today I thought about considering more of the continuing more of the plot on this today, but I was like, honestly, it's been too much brain. I've had to do too much brain recently, too much thinking. I'm in the mood for head empty, beat up weirdos. Yeah, what do we talk about in Proposition tomorrow? Me and Steph talked in quite some depth about Princess Peach Showtime. I've finished it, Steph has not, but we got into some depth on it. That was good. Theater Rhythm we definitely get into. It's an interesting one. Oh. Wow. Active Criticism says, my big excitement today was talking 3 young women out of kicking in a neighbour's door and getting them to leave before the police arrived. I'm glad they did the sensible thing, rather than insisting on maintaining with their course of action. Good on you. Anything that minimises, like, cops getting involved and people having kicked indoors is a good day. Need all my characters to level up, I have no MP, and I want to do all the cool shit. Level up so your MP refills for free. I saw a film today. Without going into spoilers on it, I watched a film this morning because my lovely wife Jane picked up got me an unlimited cinema pass for my birthday last year. And as such, I can just occasionally go, I have a couple of hours free, let's go see a film I haven't heard of before. So I went and saw a film today called Mother's Instinct, which is... How do I describe this film? It's in the 1960s in a suburb in America, and there's 2 mothers. And one of them, their kid dies in a tragic accident. And the following 90 minutes is a dramatic escalation between either the mother whose kid survived is absolutely paranoid and, like, her guilt over not saving her neighbor's kid is leading her to get paranoid and think that, like, her neighbor's out for revenge and is coming to kill her kid. Either she's, like, completely paranoid and about to, like, do something terrible, or the mother who lost her kid is maybe planning a crime spree to steal her neighbor's kid. And what I will say about this film is it did a fantastic job of making both reasonings seem equally as plausible. You know, it might sway a little one way or a little the other throughout its runtime. It genuinely kept me guessing right up until the end. Are you just paranoid, or are you actually about to do something terrifying? And it was an interesting thriller. Twas an interesting film for sure. Any big names in this film? One of the 2 lead actresses is Anne Hathaway, who you might remember from very early Podquisition listeners might remember I played a dating sim in which you played a tiny imp living in Anne Hathaway's mouth. I don't remember what that RPG is. That game was called. Let me find it. Mouth game. What is it called? This was a really early Podquisition episode. There's fan art of me talking about this. Anne Hathaway, mouth, imp. I swear I didn't imagine this. I'm gonna have to go dig back through the Podquisition archives in a minute to find evidence that I'm not just making this up. But yes, Anne Hathaway is one of the mothers in this film. She does a very, very good job in it. I enjoy Anne Hathaway generally. Yeah, Anne Hathaway plays the mother. Okay, I won't say up front whether she's the one who lost her kid or not, because, you know, not that that's meant to be a spoiler, but, you know, it doesn't happen instantly in the film. But it's a very interesting film about, like, am I reading too much into this, or is there really a secret scheming plan occurring back and forth? Okay, God, I gotta look up early Podquisition episodes now to find I'm not imagining this Anne Hathaway mouth game. Let me, I'm gonna have to, this is in, like, yeah, I remember the mouth game. I can find you fan art of the Anne Hathaway mouth game Podquisition episode. Jessica Chastain is the other actress. Yeah, it's a very good, like, 90-minute tense thriller, about, like, which of these demure housewives is slightly losing it. I know it's in the first, like, 10, 15 episodes of Podquisition. I'm nearly scrolled back far enough. Let's see. Surely the episode would have been named after the fact that we talked about an Anne Hathaway mouth game. Maybe not. I'm up to, like, episode 30 and I'm not seeing a name that tells me Anne Hathaway mouth game.
Hey, I'm in good shape.
Okay, I'm gonna like open the descriptions of a couple of early Actually, you know what I could do? Just Google Podquisition Anne Hathaway. That's probably the way to find it.
This ought to be good.
Why am I not finding this? Podquisition mouth imp. Wet meat mouth. That's episode 200 and something. It's not going to be wet meat mouth. Text adventure of what it's like to be a tooth fucker in Anne Hathaway's mouth. Yes, I found it. It's real. Okay, it's no longer on the internet. You can no longer play it. Tiny mouth-dwelling sex imps know nothing of human language. Touch the Bone Palace. Touch the Bone Palace. Rub yourself on the Bone Palace. This is the one. I talked about this in some early Podquisition episode. There was a game where you'd play a tiny imp living in Anne Hathaway's mouth, wanting to do sex on her teeth. It's a text adventure. I'm gonna say it was in the first 50 episodes of Podquisition. If someone can find the episode, then that's great. But apparently that game no longer exists, so my review on Podquisition is one of the few ways you can vicariously enjoy being a horny tiny imp wanting to fuck Anne Hathaway's teeth. I don't know why this came up. I saw the fan art the other day. And I don't remember why I saw the Anne Hathaway mouth imp fan art, but it came up in some context.
Can we chill out?
This is probably going to be the exit, isn't it? Yeah, we'll come back there in a second. I don't even know what the name of it is. If I could find the name, I could probably find a playthrough of it somewhere. I'm disappointed I can't do more to share with you this baffling thing. God, I need to get back to the era of talking about weird little niche internet games on Podquisition. I need to find my Laura's Weird Game of the Week material. Yeah, no, I did try Googling Anne Hathaway mouth game and I did not find the one I was looking for. Oh, I probably can find the episode. It's just like a matter of time to do it.
Doing better than I thought.
There we go. Sorry, I'm micromanaging a thing while I'm here. You know the old adage, Laura's keeping an eye on a secret work thing. Although, as I said at the start of the stream, I can actually talk about what one of those things I've been working on recently is. I won't go into specifics until it's live, but now that BAFTA have announced that their 2024 BAFTA Games Special Award is being given to Special Effect, an accessibility charity, I can say I'll say this much for now. I wrote a thing for BAFTA. I spent the last couple of weeks writing a thing for BAFTA that's going to be up on their website tomorrow, talking about that award that Special Effects has won. I won't go into the specifics of that article yet, but that's at least one of the things I've been working on. And it's nice to be able to go, hey, I can at least tell you in advance, 9:30 AM UK tomorrow. Look out for a thing I got to write for BAFTA, because I can say this much, I think. BAFTA reached out to me when they knew who was going to win that award this year, and were like, hey, they're an accessibility charity, you know accessibility stuff. We'd really like you to write some stuff about this award, and it was a very nice thing to be asked. You can find Anne Hathaway dress up, Incompetent Hero says. Yeah, not quite the same, is it? Look, video game preservation. I've got to preserve this video game somehow. I'm Alex C. Thank you very much for the 10 months of Prime sub. Thank you very much for sneaking into Bezos' house and going, oh hey, look, there's some weirdos over there having a conversation about a text-based adventure game you can no longer find, in which Anne Hathaway has imp living in her mouth that wants to fuck her teeth. And in his confusion, you capitalized on that moment to slide some pennies over the table from him to me. So thank you. Special Effects are amazing. They do fantastic work, and, you know... Look, maybe if you keep an eye out for that piece tomorrow morning, maybe people will see some lovely words from someone who they recognize from this Twitch chat, maybe. Just maybe.
We should relish this.
And I mean, if that's not an excuse to read the thing, I don't know what is. Look, video game preservation ain't what it used to be. If I can't go and track down a decade-old Anne Hathaway mouth-fucking simulator, then what hope is there for future generations of game developers to learn from our past? Sorry, I'm still trying to find that Anne Hathaway game. And Google led me to a Reddit thread in r/shower thoughts. What percentage of Anne Hathaway is her teeth? Yeah, Incompetent Hero, you also found what percentage of Anne Hathaway is teeth. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna dig through some of those early pole positions while we're here, and I'm gonna find the Anne Hathaway mouth game. Yeah, we'll let me ADHD win tonight. It's gonna be one of those nights. There might be an answer. I didn't think to click on that Reddit thread. If someone wants to click on that Reddit thread and investigate. How's the wealth going, says Saint Nobody? Is it infinite yet? It's not infinite yet, but we're getting there. We're doing some of the later game dungeons now where money becomes more plentiful. This second phase not so much, but when we get to the third phase of this dungeon, money will start fucking pouring out. Okay, I gotta very quickly manage the thing. There we go. I think I have finished sorting the thing I needed to sort, so... one moment. Sorry. My apologies. This is the joy of trying to micromanage stuff at the same time as doing a stream. The eternal Laura problem of work stuff needs doing on stream days. Tara, thank you very much for the 12 months of sub. That reminded me to plan on subbing to most people I watch this month. Sorry to interrupt such a cultured discussion. Oh, never apologize for interrupting. Even if it's Anne Hathaway mouth discussion, never apologize for interrupting to give me money. I will never complain that you interrupted. Right, I'm just opening a bunch of the old Podquisitions to look at the descriptions. See how many of these. Bob Marley's USB cables. God, there's a lot of weird. Oh, King Henry VIII tits. That was only Podquisition 10.
You want some?
Oh, Pillars of Bloodborne Tooth Sex. That'll be it. It'll be the episode with tooth sex in the title. Okay. Also, it reminds me how fucking long Podquisition has been going for, in that one of the early episodes is about a, I believe, references a proposal to a person who's not the person I'm married to 10 years later. The joy of putting your life on the internet, in somewhat of a ongoing manner. Here we go, here we go. An imp has sex with Anne Hathaway's teeth. I found the episode. What we might do in a minute is I might skim through that Podquisition episode to find the name of that game, because I want to, for my own evidence, know that that game was real. Oh, yeah, there we go. Cass says, occasionally I get very nostalgic for Cooking with Depression. Cooking with Depression was of an era. I was living in a place that had, like, toxic black mold growing in the ceiling, and I didn't have any life outside of work for a while. And when, like, your entire job, your entire identity is sit in office, make work, in the height of Gamergate, it was a weird mess of stuff going on. It was also when I, like, I'd had my hormones upped and I was, like, about to go in for surgery, and my emotions were all over the place. Cooking with Depression was, I need to survive and I need to make content, let's make the two of those into one thing. Laura's Sketchy Drink reviews. I do have something in mind for a future Laura's Sketchy Drink review. Did you know that 7-Eleven in the United States is gonna start selling hot dog flavored sparkling water? Sparkling hot dog flavored water. I'm gonna get my hands on a can. It's gonna be a Podquisition topic. It's gonna happen. Okay. I'm gonna skim through quickly the Podquisition episode where we might find... Right, the Limp Bizkit stuff. Someone at 7-Eleven had to know. Okay. I'm gonna try and find the name of this Anne Hathaway tooth game. Give me a sec to scrub through old Podquisition audio.
Way out to city when I know that there's hot cash coming back.
There was at one point a logic to it, and that logic stopped being anything like...
Oh god. It's kind of cringe. This is episode 18. This is where I was still, like, making my vocal pitch higher in post because I was a newly out trans person fucking terrified of the internet who was about to have the biggest audience listening to me that, like, I'd ever had. This episode of Podquisition, 73,000 listeners just on SoundCloud alone. Yeah, no, there was a period of time where you can hear my pitched up voice. It was a defense mechanism of a different time.
decades ago, and it's just a relic that stuck around.
It's one of those things that it's like this because it's always been like this.
You know
at this
what
bloody
really
point.
bugs me are there other ones in like you.
Review live on thejimquisition.com.
Oh, don't worry, Active Criticism. At the very least, I'll give time codes so that you can easily skip hot dog water. I have some fun weird drinks planned as well. And look, hot dog water may not happen, but part of me needs to know.
My throat was. Mine's just
A
like
10 out of 10. It's like a game that is so hardcore that it's.
That was on the. I don't want to make. Since I had an allergic. Let's really again from my
Blue.
want
Really cut you off here.
Yeah,
no.
now
I want to hear this now.
shivering. And then I just
That's
said
headache.
We'll make do.
Yeah, because
Live, hooray!
I just come back.
60 frames a second on PC that is getting rumored. Maybe that would
Yeah, like it's aimer man.
It's clearly fucking Souls.
I'll get to this Tooth game eventually. I just want to know what it was called.
I did keep calling.
Sorry, no, I've just remembered the name. Anne Hathaway's Erotic Mouthscape? I think that's it. Anne Hathaway's Erotic Mouthscape.
Souls. Like
Yeah,
every
they are.
time it said.
They're fucking Souls.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Let me go. Yes, Anne Hathaway's Erotic Mouthscape. There is an ASMR playthrough of that game on YouTube. There we go. I found it. Yeah, I stopped by, I think, somewhere in the 20s. Like, to give you context, like, on Pogquisition starting, I was out as a trans person, but, like, it was a whole scale of difference going from, like, maybe, like 15, 20 people listen to the Indie Haven podcast to, like, tens of thousands of people who may not be cool with trans people from the wider gaming audience are suddenly going to hear you. I did a lot to, like, ease people into I fucking have the voice that I have. You know, I got more confident over time, but, you know.
Hello everyone, it's me, Jamie. We're doing something a little different today.
Oh, this...
We're gonna choose your
Of course this ASMR is so quiet.
Erotic Mouthscape by Lillian Brent.
Okay, yeah, if you want to experience Anne Hathaway's Erotic Mouthscape, go to Mr. Clubfoot on YouTube, who has an ASMR playthrough of this game. There we go. I was gonna say I don't know how we got here. I know how we got here. We got here because I brought up a movie called Mother's Instinct, which happens to star Anne Hathaway, that I quite enjoyed. And then we got derailed. Oh, Incompetent Hero, no one needs to eat a warhead pickle. There we go. It's still out there. Somewhere in the deep recesses of my mind, the phrase Anne Hathaway's Erotic Mouthscape. I didn't need prompting. I came to it of my own accord. Yeah, no, I've never in the UK seen the ability to just go buy a single giant pickle in a bag. That is not a thing I'm aware of the UK offering. Is that, Incompetent Hero says, I'm sorry, is that nearly nude man with a green afro floss dancing? Yeah, he's the Emperor of Funk! What more would you expect from the Emperor of Funk? He's the Emperor! These are members of the Suji decks. You know, you would recognize these if you'd done your research on the Sujimon map, you know.
It's my turn.
Essence of Bonebreaker. Yeah, fuck this Emperor of Funk up. That was the other work thing I'm gonna do. I've not finished my work thing yet. I got distracted by remembering Anne Hathaway's Erotic Mouthscape's game name.
Oh, here we go.
It's my turn. I'm on it.
No, my favorite weird energy drink still, and I'm so disappointed you can't just buy it on the shelves in the UK anymore like you used to be able to, is Pussy. Pussy was a genuinely, like, enjoyable energy drink. Like, the sort of floral element to it is something that no other energy drink has ever really tried to recapture. You know, it was disappointing when they renamed, they started putting asterisks in the name on the shelf, you know, for the kids. But, like, all the more disappointing when it vanished entirely.
Whoa.
Floral is the only word for it. Like, it tasted, it tasted like potpourri, but not in a bad way. There's a lot of ways that tasting like potpourri could be a bad thing, but it was gently potpourried.
Allow me. No begging for mercy now. Oh, I gotcha.
I feel so heavy.
Oh, it really sucks that maybe the best era in recent memory we had for, like, weird movie, video game movie tie-in stuff that I could have talked about on Pogposition was in the midst of the SAG-AFTRA strikes and the WGA strikes, because they were desperately trying to use the video game industry to Trojan horse coverage of their movies in, from people who wouldn't realise they were
What the hell was this?
crossing the picket line.
And what kind of idiot hides in a safe? 'Cause it's not
but,
the
like,
craziest thing I've seen.
I wish I could have gotten my hands on and reviewed the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle controller that's shaped like a piece of pizza and smells like pizza and has a device on the back that sprays out pizza smell. That would have been perfect Pogposition fodder, but I didn't bother emailing to try and, like, get the PR people to send me one because it was in the middle of the strikes and I didn't want to be a scab. There was some weird fucking movie tie-in stuff in that era just because they were trying to get... They were desperate to get video game
Whoa.
people to be the ones crossing the picket line. And it was kind of working for him, but I didn't want to be part of that.
Get started. It's my turn.
Did they ever make that chicken bucket console? Probably.
Together, we only need one shot.
Everything... They probably made one. Whether it was a thing anyone could actually get their hands on outside of that, who the hell knows? Come on, Kiryu, kick this man's ass. Oh, the Queen's Wii, the Queen's Gold Wii gets put up on auction sites every now and then. I believe it is known who currently owns the Queen's Wii. The number of times I've been tempted to, like, put together, like, a GoFundMe to be like, I want to own this weird thing that's up for auction briefly. And I have no right to ask for this, but, like, internet, will you help me own the Queen's Golden Wii? Because I think it would be funny to do a piss on it, because then I weed on the Queen's Wii forever. You know, my moment of fame would be weed on the Queen's Wii, and I don't know if that's the legacy I want. But knowing that I could probably leverage the internet to make that my legacy is a hard thing to ignore.
They might need a hand.
No, there's a category of, like,
It's my turn.
limited availability things that exist out in the world where I'm like, if I ever had the opportunity, I'd love to own one, but I know I never will. I follow someone on TikTok who owns several Pika Bugs, the Volkswagen Bug designed to look like Pikachu, that there's, I believe, 15 of them were given out as competition prizes officially, and this woman is on a quest to own as many of the Pikabugs as she can, and I'm like, I respect the hustle. I don't know how the fuck you're bankrolling that quest, but good on you. If you're going to get into collecting, you've got to get into collecting something that isn't going to break the bank to collect. Like, I know when I eventually finish my big shiny hunting quest in Pokemon, I know what my thing that I hope to one day have an article written about my ludicrous collection of is. It's still going to be shiny Pokemon collecting, but it's going to be collecting as many different unique shiny, oh, what's the Pokemon with the spots on it? And all the spots appear in random positions. It's got sort of swirly eyes. A Spinder. There are like 18 billion possible shiny Spinder because every single PID code in Pokemon alters where the 3 dots appear. I want the world's largest collection of unique shiny Spinder with different PIDs. And that might end up being my weird niche legacy. Oh, don't worry. I have all the shiny Alcremies. I have every flavor of shiny Alcremie in every fruit variation. So I have, like, strawberry with every fruit. Like, I have every color of cream with every fruit in all combinations. Don't worry, I'm aware of the weird elaborate Pokemons. Spinder is like the final boss. Spinder is my one day. Hooray, I rescued a missing person. Yes, there was a couple I was missing, but it was, I wrapped up the last few. Remember when the second DLC for Scarlet and Violet came out, and they briefly had, like, special shiny boosted odds, mass outbreaks happening? And for a couple of weeks, Alcremie was one of the ones that, like, every day there was boosted shiny odds Alcremie outbreaks everywhere. Yeah, I used that to finish clearing up my Alcremie stuff. Mousehold was ridiculous. At least with Alcremie, you can entirely, like, it's within your control to make a shiny Alcremie into the form you need it to be. The problem with Mousehold is it was a complete random roll of the dice. You know, I only needed 50, 60, whatever it was, Alcremies. I think it was like 300 plus Mouseholds that I evolved before one of them was the right kind of shiny. Yes, I have three segment to Dunsparce, family of 3 Mousehold. I think I have 2 family of 3 Mouseholds. I had 2 hatch like real close together in like one batch of or evolve together in one batch of evolutions. The Dunsparce was the first one of those in Scarlet and Violet I went and like hunted the rare version of, because I've told this story before. I've had a real love for shiny Dunsparce for a few years now, and it largely came about because I used to do lots of like trading for people's duplicate shinies and whatnot, working through my collection, and I had several shiny to Dunsparce, and whenever like someone offered me a shiny for trade, I'd be like, here's my duplicates, so what do you want? In like 3 years of offering people my duplicates list, no one ever accepted a shiny Dunsparce. I had like 9 of them, and no one ever wanted a shiny Dunsparce. And every time that something other than Dunsparce got selected, I started to go, that's not fucking fair to Dunsparce. No one wants my shiny Dunsparces. And I started to fall deeper and deeper in love with shiny Dunsparce. And one thing led to another, and I decided that shiny Dunsparce deserves love too, and I needed a shiny 3-segment to Dunsparce, and a huge collection of shiny Dunsparces and to Dunsparces. There's a couple of the unknown letters I don't have shiny yet, and it's just a matter of making the time to do it, because they're really easy to shiny hunt, relatively speaking, in Legends Arceus. I need to do a shiny hunt and get some of the remaining letters. It's not many letters I'm missing, but hello, two men acting as furniture for a safe. Yeah. My love of Shiny Dunsparce is basically Magikarp Jump, the mobile game about wanting to make the best Magikarp that all it's going to do is jump, and you say fuck you if it ever becomes a Gyarados.
I think there's something over there.
Anything in here? No, dead end. Yeah, there's a couple of things that come in multiple forms where I just haven't gotten around to finding the other forms yet. I know one of them is Vivillon, the butterfly that has different forms based on different, like, which region your copy of the game's from. I haven't gotten around to getting some of the regional Vivillon forms, but I believe you can get those in Scarlet and Violet now through various methods. I think, like, you can do Pokemon Go postcards to control which Vivillon form you get, and I think you can still shiny hunt them after that. I really like Magikarp Jump. It was a real wholesome time sink for a while. Very simple, but I felt emotionally connected to it. Yeah, I've got all the Orichalcos forms. I've got the Burmy forms. I shiny hunted the Burmies in Legends Arceus, the Orichalcos in Scarlet and Violet. Oh, stop hitting me with your glow sticks. I'm trying to win.
You're going to regret this.
Here we go.
Oh, I gotta transfer those files still. Oh no, don't summon another one of you in. Because then they can summon another one of themselves in, and this will just go on forever. Kill the first one as quickly as we can, just focus on the second one. While I remember to...
Time to shut it down.
Gotta remember to do my data transfer that I gotta do.
Are you done with all the fun and games yet?
I'll take you on.
Sorry about the wait here.
What's the holdup?
Who wants to go?
I'll take you on.
Are you done with all the fun and
Alright,
games yet?
sorry about this. Nearly done.
What's the holdup?
Come on, PC, recognize my little memory card.
Who wants to go?
There we go.
Something wrong? What's the holdup?
Are you done with all the fun and games yet?
Something wrong?
Oh, that is interesting.
What's the holdup?
Okay, nearly done here. Indeed, it is nice of these people to wait around to get beaten up, isn't it? I appreciate that of them. There we go. I can get back to beating up this metalhead. Laura's life will be completely sidetracked if we ever get a shiny Sujimon update. Honestly, I will... If they ever do that, I will be the first person in the world to go have a complete living shiny Sujidex. I will commit to the Sujimon loving bit. I will go real hard in on loving Sujimon. Until the creators of Like a Dragon recognize me as a Sujimon trainer. That day will come. That day will come. Did you hear about the $400,000 Playdate heist? Yes, I did. We talk about it on Podquisition tomorrow. For anyone who's not heard, the gist of it, and I'm doing this off memory, is FedEx were shipping 2 huge pallets of hundreds of Playdates, and someone signed for them, but Playdate never got them. Then, another parcel FedEx was delivering, they realized, oh, we accidentally delivered to the construction company next door to Playdate. The same person signed for it as who signed for the last ones that you never got. It sure seems like your next door neighbors signed for these Playdates and then someone realized they weren't supposed to have them and decided to sell them. Because Playdates all have unique original serial numbers, and they have to be registered online the first time you use them, they can track the ones that were stolen and see where they're being registered. They're being registered in Vegas, which is the place where they were stolen. So it sure seems like someone at the construction company next door stole $400,000 worth of Playdates and is trying to, like, sell them at, like, car boot sales and, you know, flea markets and things around Las Vegas. It's a whole thing. Yeah, so yes, the Playdate, like, it's pretty clear, like, who stole them and is selling them off. Like, that much seems to be clear. How many of them will be recoverable, who knows. Hopefully a shipment that large was insured, and, like, FedEx will probably end up footing the bill for that. Black market Playdate because it's impossible to get otherwise. Well, that's the thing. Like, recently, they've actually gotten to the point where all the pre-orders are finally dealt with, and you could just order one and it'll ship straight away. Or at least they had done before $400,000 worth was stolen. At GDC, you could just go to a booth and buy one direct from Playdate's booth. They still don't have other colours, but you can at least get cases in other colours now. Like, I have mine in a nice this colour case. So I'm like, yeah. What am I doing? Bloody bowgun.
Follow my lead.
Saint Nobody says, I think they were a little more careful to not attribute any blame to anyone in their version than you were in your retelling, but you got the gist right. Yeah, like, they didn't explicitly say some of this, but, like, when they have reported the details that, like, the person who signed for the missing shipment also signed for this second shipment that we do know turned up next door, like, at this other company. We're not accusing them, but, like, I, as a neutral third party in another country, I'm happy to connect the dots and go, it sure sounds like that next door company probably did it, I would think.
Let's do it.
On.
Easy. Quick catch.
Oh, treasure ahoy!
Right. Time to move.
Yeah, we've done the whole floor. Making good progress.
Follow my lead.
I saw something just now.
Yeah, a lot of delivery companies do have,
Treasure ahoy!
you know, verification of varying kinds of big deliveries. It does surprise me that there was zero verification for a delivery of that scale.
It's my turn.
Like, I've had to, for a delivery of, like, oh, like 300 copies of a book,
Finish it. Together.
I've
we
had
only
to,
need one shot.
like, be at the door with ID that says I'm the person whose name is on all the boxes, and that was for, like, you know, that was for a few hundred books.
Follow my lead.
Like, I received, I won't say which, but I received one of the current gen consoles ahead of release for review. I received a couple of them, but I'm talking about one of them in particular. And, like, the tracking for that, because I was getting that console, like, weeks ahead of its release, was, like, yeah, not only, like, is there, like, a PIN code that you will need to know, you will need your ID, you will need to be there, you will need to, like, sign it, and your signature will need to match your ID that we will check, and you will need to, like, take a photo of you receiving it, and, like, all that kind of shit.
We should relish this moment.
All right, fair fight.
Okay.
Yeah, delivery workers are rushed, I get that, but also, at a certain point, with a certain amount on the line, you maybe pay your delivery worker pay them enough money to, like, stop for a second and check things. Look this way. Ooh, there we go. I think I'm nearly done with
My turn.
Get serious.
the thing I was trying to do.
Who wants to go?
Something wrong?
I'm over here. Are you done with all the fun and games yet?
Okay, I think I'm done with my work thing I was trying to bounce about with. Right. Thank you for your patience, everyone, while I micromanage a work project while on stream. I know this is not a first for me, but I always appreciate it when everyone here is
Something wrong?
chill about me having to micromanage projects. Alright. Last little bit of project. Nearly done. Cool, let's get kicking these guys' asses. Essence of Wicked Web. Well, yeah, that's the thing. If we're talking about, like, pallets so big that they have to be, like, forklift dealt with, you've got time while the thing's being loaded to check paperwork. Izzy says, a piece of hardware that was delivered to me had a full-on mobile network-connected GPS tracker in the box. I should say this was not consumer hardware, it was work-related. Again, that doesn't surprise me. I had again, the console I was talking about before that I received considerably in advance. It was being delivered by a courier who I was given, like, up to the second GPS tracking data for. I got a call from the company when it got delivered, because they were clearly watching the tracking data, to go, can you confirm that, like, it's about to reach you, can you confirm that you are ready to collect it? Cool. They then saw I'd collected it and called back and went, can you confirm that you have received it and that it wasn't delivered to someone else? Yeah, I can confirm that was me. Like, they were... There wasn't, like, GPS tracking in the box, but the courier was being GPS tracked and they were calling me to confirm, like, it's definitely you that got that box that we sent you. I'm like, yeah, I got it. Yeah, it's interesting receiving stuff that, like, once you get into the category of if a courier realized what this was, they might be tempted to steal it because they could sell it for, like, a shit ton online, you start doing serious security. Because, like, I imagine if a courier had, like, you know, if they'd sent it with, like, Royal Mail or Every or something, one of those couriers, and someone had realised, like, oh, this is a next-gen console that's not out for, like, 2-3 weeks, maybe even more than 3 weeks, you know, it would be real tempting to go throw that up on eBay for, like, see if someone will pay 10 grand for it. With 0 games to play on it, so, like, there'd not really be much point, but... Andy H says, you're saying you've got your hands on Switch 2. I wish I was saying I had my hands on Switch 2. I mean, look, I've said this before. I was lucky enough that with the PS5 Xbox Series generation launch, I received both of those ahead of release for review. I think both of them I had for at least 2 weeks. One of them I think I had for considerably longer than that, but yeah, this is the first generation in a while where, like, I've received the consoles and most of their launch titles early enough to have, like, a bunch of pre-launch day coverage. I had a little bit of that with the Switch. That mainly came about because I knew someone who had a review unit of the Switch who was happy for me to basically go to their place, which I really shouldn't have done, play their pre-release review unit Switch so that I could have coverage ready for release day, even though I, in theory, shouldn't have had access to it. You know, you do what you can sometimes. Yoldi Badger says, we bought 2 server-grade hard drives. They got dumped on our doorstep. I got a $30 plastic sci-fi visor from the UK. Had to go to the post office and sign for that. It's so random. It is indeed. I have to say I enjoy the Yodel tracker near Christmas, where you can track the van as if it was Santa, or is that Amazon actually? Either way, that does sound kind of charming. Incompetent Hero says, I'm confused why PS5 Pro is a thing. It seems just because last gen did it. The reason is that Unreal Engine 5 is a real fucking resource hog, and folks want to develop Unreal Engine 5 stuff without worrying about, like, resource bottlenecks. I don't think it's ray tracing, it's AI image upscaling, it's they want to be able to say they've got all the fancy new tech that you know, new cards on PC are doing, and that's basically ray tracing and AI image reconstruction. It feels unnecessary, and it feels like it's going to fragment the market even more than it already is, but yeah. The PS5 Pro, honestly, it feels way too early. It does not feel like the market is ready for that.
Okay.
But what if the PS5 Pro does happen, which it sure seems like it is? I'm in the position where if it wasn't for my work, I probably wouldn't buy one. But if they send me one for work, I sure will go, don't my video games look prettier? But I can't... If I'd bought the PS5 at launch, and the PS5 Pro was happening now, it would be a real fucking hard sell to pay up new console prices a second time to upgrade. It feels like we've barely had any games that, like, really take advantage of the fact they're on PS5 yet. It feels like we don't need to be rushing to new hardware this quick.
Time to shut it down.
Incompetent Hero says, apparently Sony went from PS4 to PS4 Pro a year earlier into its lifespan than PS5 was doing. Yeah, I know that if you look at PS4 Pro and how early it came along, PS5 technically waited longer. But I don't think it helps that the first, like, 2 years, maybe more, of the PS5's lifespan, there was basically nothing to fucking play on it. It was all PS4 games that you could technically play on your PS5, because COVID absolutely fucked up game development schedules. Like, the PS5 has existed for a while, but we got a couple of years in before we were getting PS5 exclusive or PS5, like, fundamentally improved versions of games. Okay, Nintendo's done layoffs as well. How many... Which bit of Nintendo is it, and how many people have they laid off? Just so I know who else to grumble about.
There's no way to fight.
Hey, Thimba. Oh, sorry, I've just realised, yeah. The only game on PS5 that truly blew me away, Incompetent Hero says, was Returnal. The haptic triggers and spatial headphone audio were crazy to me. The ones that, like, I think of for PS5 is, Astro's Playroom, Astrobot Adventure, whatever it's called, the pack-in game. Fascinating stuff with the controller tag. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, with the swapping between realities in the blink of an eye, tech is cool. Weirdly, there's an indie game, oh, what's it called? It's the one where you have, like, hundreds of people. It's kind of like Lemmings, but you've got people running around in a void and you're a little ghost dog leading them around. That, with the sheer number of character, like, NPCs that were, like, physics simulating at the same time, that felt like it was making good use of new tech. Numbers haven't been revealed, but Nintendo got rid of all contractors in connection with the rumored Switch 2. That would be the focus. Oh, Humanity, that was it. Humanity felt like it was doing good stuff with the tech. I'm gonna have to reread that Thimba message because I can't quite understand it. I'm gonna go read the Eurogamer piece to. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm having a look now at Eurogamer's thing. Nintendo has reportedly cut 120 contractor testing roles in its North American operation. Yeah, contracted workers in Nintendo of America have always famously been treated like fucking shit. As part of a major restructuring effort that comes amid claims of a testing lull ahead of Switch 2's arrival. That doesn't surprise me. The majority of Switch, like, their Switch 2 software isn't ready yet, and they've already finished what is probably going to be their last year of Switch software. That's just sat waiting to come out. They're in a weird period for QA testing, I imagine. This is according to Kotaku, which describes the restructuring as a massive downsizing of Nintendo's Washington-based testing team. Nintendo says the move will result in some contractor assignments ending and the creation of a significant number of new full-time employee positions. Those laid off will receive severance packages and assistance.
Are you done with all the fun and games yet?
Those going full-time appear to be getting moved out of software testing. Okay. Kotaku sources say that new major first-party games are currently in the testing pipeline. Oh, sorry, no new major first-party games are currently in the testing pipeline. This claim follows reports earlier this year that Switch 2, which was originally planned to arrive in 2024, has seen its release pushed back to March 2025. Yeah. Look, I'll put it this way. I'm not surprised to hear this story because Nintendo of America, like, there were stories last year of Nintendo of America treats its contractors like fucking shit. If you're a full-time employee at Nintendo, you get one color of lanyard, and if you're a contractor, you get a different lanyard color. And, like, there is a story of, like, I don't know how much, you know, hyperbole there was to it, but one of the reports was someone going, yeah, no, I was excited to get hired at Nintendo of America as a contractor, and I saw Reggie Fils-Aimé in the corridor, and I tried to say hi to him, and he told me to fuck off. Now, I don't know how much truth there is to that, but the fact that I've seen other NOA contractors go, even if that didn't happen, it's in keeping with the tone there. Like, Nintendo of America just doesn't respect its contractors, and that's just a big long-term problem.
There's no way to fight.
Izzy says 120 is absolutely not all contractors for a company the size of Nintendo of America. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's all their contractors. If some of their QA is in-house, and most of their QA is probably being done in Japan. And, like, this is the 120 people is how many they've got currently, like, flexibly added on. Question mark? I don't know. Correct me if that doesn't seem like a reasonable read on it, but yeah, from what we can tell, like, Nintendo has basically finished making all of the stuff that's going to be the final launch year, release year of the base Switch. The Switch 2 stuff is not quite ready and needs more time and isn't quite ready to go into testing. But also 3. I suspect Nintendo of America doesn't want to use contractors to QA test Switch 2 software at this moment. Because, like, frankly, I think Nintendo are terrified of more fucking leaks going on, and anyone who's not in their elite club of, like, actual employees, I don't think they trust their contract workers enough. I think history has shown they have a disdain for contract workers. I don't think they trust them to QA test next gen and not be sources of leaks. I wouldn't be surprised if they just don't want to put them on those projects. It might be all the QA contractors, but it was worded as every single contractor. No, Eurogamer's piece sounded like it was saying all the QA contractors. I'll reread it. I thought Eurogamer was saying all the QA contractors. It's cut 120 contractors from testing roles in Nintendo of America. Yeah, the Eurogamer piece says it's 120 specifically QA contractors. Oh, the chat message further up, I apologize. I'm doing my best to keep on top of this. I mean, look, contractors do get paid more for the work, but they get paid more for the work for a specific reason, which is once their contract ends, they can't guarantee when they're going to get more work. The difference is a lower rate of pay but pay stability long term versus a higher rate of pay but you can't guarantee on it sticking around. It's much the same for, like, being a specialist freelancer or, you know, like, I've done work as a consultant, for example. I've been paid a lot of money for consulting projects sometimes, but that's sort of under the understanding of
I don't sense anyone nearby.
when I finish that work, it might be 6 months, 8 months, 9 months before I get another gig like that in the industry, as opposed to someone who's getting a regular paycheck. Yeah, pensions and whatnot. Exactly. It's got to cover the amount of that money that's going to go into your tax, like your self-employed taxes. It's got to cover whatever your equivalent of your pension contributions would be. It has to keep you going until the next time you get another job like that. Incompetent Hero says, I'm officially available for contract hire. Want to hire me to do something in an incompetent manner? I can sing badly. Oh, if only I had a budget for contractors.
Here we go.
Yeah, like, the times I've been paid, like, the truly, like, really good money for like, consulting stuff and those kind of, like, projects, it's been the kind of work where it's like, I will be lucky if I get another job, like, another opportunity like this a year from now, like a year and a half, 2 years from now. If I get another opportunity like this, that'll be exciting. And when you're in a situation like that, yeah, you have to charge the kinds of money that are like, yeah, this has to cover me for a while. Oh, I'm not... Okay, well, I've been accepting some freelance commissions for AA on a very limited basis. Like, I've paid for 3 freelance pieces for AA. And that has been on a very... I got paid for some other freelancing work. I had a budget. I wanted to experiment with something. We'll see how it pans out. Yeah. That is very much a we're seeing if the economics pan out on that one. Ooh. Oh, I should have.
Get serious. I'll take you on.
I should have made sure I had an additional big micro SD card available for work tomorrow. I'm gonna need to go into town and get a big micro SD tomorrow. Jonathan paid me to rap badly, and that inspired a way too ambitious April Fool's Day stream project. Ooh, interesting. I'm glad you got your Sujimon rap, Bucks. Well deserved. You're truly an inspiration to us all.
It's my turn.
Oh. Can I quickly order a micro SD card? I can't imagine at this time of night I can sort a micro SD for tomorrow, but... Maybe. Maybe I can. The world is a ridiculous place.
I'm over here. Are you done with all the fun and games yet?
That'll do.
Let's do it.
I can, in fact, get a micro SD to show up at my home tomorrow, despite the time of day. Do I live somewhere with the same day Amazon delivery? Depends on what I want delivered. Like, I try and avoid using Amazon wherever possible, but also as someone that does work, sometimes I need a thing for work and I can't justify the time it's going to take to go into town and find a place that's got the thing I need, you know. Or sometimes disability just fucking gets in the way and I'm not in a position to go trekking into a busy town to try and find a thing, because that's just going to absolutely drain me for the whole day. I try and avoid putting money in Bezos' pocket where I can, but occasionally the Bezos is the place that can get me the thing on short notice without me having to leave the house. Incompetent Hero says, I'm doing a purposely low-effort a cappella cover of every Persona 3 Reload song, and I'm going to crank my bitrate down to 150 kbps. That's fucking hilarious. I fully endorse this terrible behavior. Inner World says, careful with SD cards, even legit-looking ones can be fake, and something like 16 megabits pretending to be 1 terabyte or whatever. Yes, I'm well aware of that. I am well aware of what the price to capacity exchange should be, and what brands are reputable, and how to test when an SD turns up, whether it is the size it purports to be. But yes, I'm well aware of, like, the market for shady pretend terabyte cards. My experience with micro SD cards at Yomdi Badger says, I try to avoid Amazon too, but sometimes just finding anywhere that sells the thing anymore is rough. Like safety backs for earrings. You'd think you could find them in earring shops, but no. Yeah, cables is usually the one. There's nowhere anywhere near me that I can find, like, weird specific niche cables on short notice. Like, if I on short notice need a, let's say, a dummy battery so that I can run a specific model of camera off of a USB power bank for something like running the wrestling streams for Steph. That's not a thing I can just regularly find somewhere. If I need to find a micro HDMI or a mini HDMI rather than a micro to main HDMI cable, shit like that. Like, not the most recent small HDMI standard, but the small HDMI standard before that. Fucking good luck finding that on short notice. But yes, no, my general go-to right now, if I want to, like, safely pick up a micro SD card on short notice, is 512 meg, 512 gig. Half a terabyte is relatively affordable and not the range where you're typically getting scammed these days. Like, terabyte micro SD considerably jumps up in price, and that's why, because that's the memory increment where the price jumps up. It's where the incentive for the scammers is. Like, you can get for like 50, like less than 50 quid, you can get a 512 gig. But if you start fucking around with terabyte cards, that's where the incentive to make fake cards exists.
Did you really think you'd win?
Moving up in the world.
Okay.
Yeah, the times where I do need stuff in, like, on short notice, and will sometimes end up resolving to Amazon, tends to be like, I need a specific part for a work project. It'll usually be something like, I need a specific adapter cable, I need a camera mount or something like that, I need something for a filming project. Sometimes it'll be like protest supplies, like if I'm making a last minute choice to go be at a protest and I realize I don't have some of the basics I should probably have in my bag on me. There we go. Yeah, no, I used to live in a place that had a lot more computer stores easily available, but where I am now, in anything that gets real niche, I'm not gonna have anywhere local that'll do anything, any of the real niche stuff. Oh, Saint Nobody. Oh, yeah, that's a tricky one.
Can't move. Much better. Much better. Let's do it.
Do companies make themed micro SD cards? They do. I know for a fact you can get, like, Nintendo-themed micro SD cards. Every time there's a new Zelda game, you get, like, Zelda-themed micro SD cards on sale. SanDisk, I believe, is usually the one they pair with. You can get, like gold Triforce emblazoned SanDisk micro SD cards, which are the exact same capacity, but for, like, a considerably higher markup.
Here we go.
They usually charge a bit of a premium for you've got a Triforce on your little tiny memory card. Yeah, wherever possible, I just order from places where I'm like, I'm happy to wait a few days. It really is mainly the stuff where I've realized short notice. I want to be working on this work project tomorrow, and I can't justify the time or the energy that it's going to take to try and find one in person. But if I don't have one tomorrow, it's going to throw my work schedule off. SanDisk is generally, you know, I generally find that SanDisk are reliable, and there's not really a lot of incentive to stray from them. It's not like they're massively overcharging. They're reliable. They're usually they're where I would default to.
I think there's something over there. It's my turn.
Are you done with all the fun and games yet?
On your knees.
Samsung are alright, yeah. Like, I wouldn't distrust a Samsung SD card, usually.
Bring it on. Double the trouble. Double the flame.
Craig D says, I have a bunch of the Samsung Evo Select 512 SD cards I swap out from my Steam Deck. Yeah, SanDisk or Samsung, either of those is reasonably reliable, and you can get cards that are 512 at a reasonable price that are fast enough to run games directly off. Like, Switch, Steam Deck, stuff like that I generally have no real trouble with.
I'm okay, I guess.
Saint Nobody says, I buy video games on Amazon mostly because it's either that or Best Buy or GameStop around me. Target if you're lucky. Best Buy's gotten way worse over the last few years, and GameStop has been a hellhole. I mean, there's nowhere to buy physical... There's a dwindling number of places to buy physical games in the UK. All the big supermarkets used to sell physical copies of games, and they don't really do so anymore. Game, our big, like, GameStop equivalent, all of them are getting shut down and made into, like, tiny, smaller sub-stores inside Sports Directs. I know a few, like, most of the game stores are rapidly vanishing, in lieu of maybe they'll pop up in the back of a Sports Direct, but there's no dedicated game store anymore. The only thing we really have is CEX, but CEX is explicitly for second-hand games. Realistically, if you want to buy like a new release video game, you either need like a local retailer to get them from at this point, or you need to get them online.
Okay.
I'm lucky. I have I got someone local I can get games from. May or may not be the same hookup that occasionally leads to me having games before I maybe should do, you know. Not having to rely on the big brand chains.
Follow my lead.
Smith's Toy Store. I know Smith's exist. I don't know where I would find a Smith's. I miss the days when you could go into WH Smith's or like Asda or Tesco and like pick up a new release on midnight on launch day. I miss when Game was a standalone retail chain. I remember going to like midnight launches at Game to pick up like copies of God, I was going on a work trip to Poland, I think it was, of all places. This might have been for when I was still at Destructoid. It was whatever year Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire came out on the 3DS. I went to a midnight launch to pick up a copy at midnight so that I could play it on my flight to wherever I was going. Yes, Shop 2, yeah, they are reasonably reliable for games showing up a couple of days early. Not you know, not guaranteed, but you know, if you want to take a chance, they're just a retailer online that I wouldn't be surprised if they sent you a game ahead of its release date, if that's the thing you want. Shop 2 has a bit of a habit of it.
We should relish this moment. I think there's something over there.
Well, don't be a mimic, don't be a mimic, don't be a mimic, don't be a mimic.
I think I see something.
I remember the first time I went to a midnight, like deliberately went to a midnight launch for a game, and it was when I was like 16. I was in a band, and we went to a midnight launch for, was it Halo 3? Halo 3 feels like it, was it Assassin's Creed 3? How old was I when Assassin's Creed 3? Well, let me like work out the year and work out what this game would have been. Was it Halo 3 release? Halo 3 release date 2007. Yeah, probably was Halo 3. It was Halo 3, and we went to our local Asda to go like get a copy at midnight, and like stayed up and sort of played it together in a friend's little tiny bedroom. Yeah, no, I was like, it couldn't be AC3, because AC3, I played on the fucking Wii U, and this was definitely a different era. I used to do book midnight launches. You know, there's a certain book series about Magic Wizard School that we're not going to get into here. I, back in the day, was like one of the... I would dress up like the main character and go wait outside my local bookshop for their midnight launch. And it would be, like, literally just fucking me, but... Well, only midnight launch... Andy H says, only midnight launch I went to was for the DS. I went to Game Station after I'd been to a pub quiz. Yeah, midnight launches for consoles are interesting. I went and picked up my Wii U at a midnight launch. And walked home 40 minutes alone by myself with just the black 32 gig Wii U bundle cradled in my arms as I walked it home at midnight. Yes, the Earthsea series, of course, that's the one I'm talking about.
Here we go.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not really worried about midnight launches this gen. At least for Nintendo stuff. Because either my hookup, you know, will, you know, slide me a copy a little early. Worst case scenario, I can... The eShop means I can buy a copy from Australia or New Zealand 12 hours early and be playing it in, like... In the UK here, it'll seem like I'm playing it a day before release, because I bought it on the eShop with some eShop credit. Which, like, kind of gets rid of a lot of the need for some of that.
Here we go.
I mean, look, I'm not going to stay up and play the game at midnight, but also my job sort of sometimes necessitates be playing game as soon as possible, and sometimes that means midnight launch. The game stores still do midnight launches with most games being downloads now. Really depends. It depends on, like, how big of an event that game is. And often it'll be factors like, are the developers doing, like, a giveaway of some kind? Is there, like, special editions that people are going to want to pick up? Like, GTA 6 is one I imagine people will show up to midnight launches for. Yeah. There's some that people show up to midnight stuff for. It really depends on the title.
Treasure ahoy!
Is it a cultural event that people will want to be around other fans for?
Nice. Should I open it? Whoa.
Oh, it was a mimic chest. There we go.
Show me what you got.
There we go. Yeah, honestly, at this point, like, consoles themselves are the only thing I'd really show up to a midnight launch for if I wasn't getting them for work early. Like, I did show up to an Xbox Series X midnight launch. Not for myself. Before I knew for a fact I was getting one, like, before Xbox said they were going to send me one for review, I'd pre-ordered one from my local gaming store, and when I found out I was getting a review unit, I didn't cancel my pre-order because I was like, why would I? They're gonna be hard to get for a while. I might as well see if I know anyone who's trying to get one, and I'm happy to like sell it to them. So I ended up like going to a midnight launch to pick up the console to sell it to someone else at face value. Like I didn't upcharge them at all. I was like, if you're happy to pay shipping, you can grab it off me. I'd also managed to secure briefly at the point where I hadn't been able to find a Series X pre-order, I did manage to pre-order a Series S on Amazon, and then when I knew I was getting the Series X for review, someone else was like, I would really like a Series S, so I was like, cool, pay me, and I'll like change the delivery name so it'll just go to you. So I managed to get 2 Xbox pre-orders and then find other people for them to go to.
It's my turn.
You have a winner.
You picked the wrong opponent.
Learning more every day.
Okay. How close down are we? What floor? We're on 17. Okay, we're getting toward the end of the dungeon now. Let's go, go, go.
Not a scratch.
Right, Yeldy Badger, Elden Ring seemed tailor-made for mimics. And, like, granted, there are treasure chests in Elden Ring that will, like, spray gas at you, and when you wake up, you're somewhere else. But, like, there was no, like, mimic.
Are you done with all the fun and games?
There was no emotional mimic.
Allow me.
Come on, Kiryu, fuck them up. Destroy them.
Doing better than I thought.
Aha.
Huh. I think I see something.
Right. No time to lose.
Okay, that's the exit, so let's check we've not missed any rescues. Oh, Yeldy Badger says, I want Elden Ring DLC that puts one mimic in the game, but it's a random chest each playthrough. Choose one chest, that's a mimic. That's villainous, I love it. Here's the thing, they could do that in the Shadow of the Erdtree. There could be one chest randomly placed that is a mimic in Shadow of the Erdtree, you don't know. Yes, Ain't Nobody says maybe the lack of mimics in the base game was intentionally setting us up to be complacent in the DLC. I genuinely think that's pretty plausible. Ooh, Thimble, what free games are up? Yeah, we're getting to the point where Kiryu is successfully, like, one-hit KOing a lot of rooms of enemies. This is where we want to be. Like, we are ready. Kiryu's party is, like, almost ready for like, endgame final boss levels. This is good strength to be.
Together, we only need one shot.
Well, none of those are games I've heard of, but I will look into them at some point. I will give them a look, see what they're like.
I sworn I saw something just now.
Wait.
Okay, that's the exit. Okay, so I can roll this corridor out. Gonna be someone to
I
rescue
think I see something.
you? No, okay.
Should I open it?
Yeah, let's open it. Yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2,
Should I open it?
it doesn't look like it's for me. I don't think it's the game. I don't think it's a game I have time in my life for, or the patience in my life for right now. More power to people who are enjoying it. I just don't think it's the right game at the right time for me.
Are you done with all the fun and games yet? So heavy.
Crotchety geezer. Get wrecked. Just burn through this man as quickly as we can. From everything I've heard, Dragon's Dogma 2 is a very specific game. It is going to be very unapologetic about some of its own design decisions, which were a little contentious even when the first game came out. And you either get on with them or you shut up about it. It is a game that makes some choices and doesn't give you any option about them, and I don't know if the choices it's making are things that I'm interested in. Quickly clear this out. The From games, I feel more of a sense of intentionality. I can feel the design intent behind a lot of the choices in FromSoft in a way with the Dragon's Dogma series is like, I'm sure it appeals to someone, but to me it does not seem like an appealing way to play the game.
Are you done with all the fun and games yet?
Like, I can understand people being put off of being as not in the mood for a Dark Souls for exactly the reasons I'm not in the mood for a Dragon's Dogma, even if they're doing very different things. They're both unapologetically exactly what they are. I am mildly fascinated about the disease that can spread through NPCs and stuff. That I was reading a little bit about that stuff. It's an interesting narrative thing they're doing. No PP slider on the new Doom game from the Conan Exiles people. Isn't Conan Exiles the one that has like the isn't there a man on that game whose entire job is designing the monster buttholes? I think that's Conan Exiles. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure in Things I Learned from Maria's Butt, I have an interview with, I think it was Conan Exiles, the man whose job is to make the monster buttholes. I don't have my copy on hand at this exact moment to double check that. I know someone from Conan Exiles was interviewed for the book. I think it was the monster buttholes guy.
fight. This is the worst.
There we go.
Bring it on! Double the trouble! Double the flame!
What's the plan here?
Follow my lead.
Okay, here we go.
No begging for mercy.
I won't take that.
Oh, I could have done the big combat swing. Ah, that's on me. I'm rushing this.
They'll make it work. We doing it big?
Yeah.
Special order.
Come on, whole party level up so that we get free heals, please.
Follow my lead. Couldn't hold it.
Ooh, I need to get around to playing the new map in Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. I haven't played the newest map yet. I've been buried under other work things.
Follow my lead.
Okay, what floor are we going down to now? We're going to be right near the end of this dungeon run. 19. Next floor is the last floor of this dungeon run. We've rescued 4 out of 5 people, which presumably means there's 1 person to rescue on this floor. Okay, we're getting there. Oh, I should keep an eye on what's going on in the world. Have I paid attention to the things I should be paying attention to?
No begging for mercy now.
You want some?
Allow me.
Let's go. Kiryu, fuck everyone up. I mean, Incompetent Hero, you know, Twitch, in theory, like, if the nudity is in a video game, and, you know, you're not explicitly trying to make sexual stuff out of it, it's just happening in a major video game people know about, Twitch generally lets nudity in games slide. Theoretically, their policy is that you should be able to play, you know, have the nudity visible in Baldur's Gate 3 if you want. Whether they uphold that all the time is another matter, but ooh.
It's my turn.
I'll take you on one.
Ooh, there's leaked photos out there now of a new Xbox Series X redesign, digital only, all in white.
Are you done with all the fun and games yet?
See. Oh yeah, that sure is photos of a all white, no disc drive Series X.
Who wants to go?
Guess we should expect that pretty fucking soon. Big Sega, particularly Atlas leaker, is no longer doing, is no longer going to be leaking stuff about games. Sure seems like maybe someone worked out who they are and they're getting in some trouble and they're just like, okay, I won't be leaking anymore. Goodbye. Incompetent Hero says, I don't know why you want a white console. Easiest to get dirty. Agreed. I don't like white consoles, if I have an option to avoid them. I just think that all black looks better. It's easier to keep looking nice. I would love a black Series S. I have a Series X in my office that I use for work. It would be really nice to not have to, like, drag it up and down stairs when I want to just game in the living room, not for work. It'd be nice to just have a Series S in the living room that my saves could move to. But, like, I'm kind of holding off because I'd rather have a black Series S hang out in the living room. Oh yes, that got announced today. There's a sort of Marvel Overwatch kind of game happening, isn't there? Marvel's Overwatch is happening. Eth Demon says, I know Phil Spencer was only musing in that Polygon interview, but if Steam came to Xbox, I would seriously give Xbox a look. I was talking about this on Poquisition today. Phil Spencer really seems to want, like, other storefronts to come to Xbox, maybe. Like, he mentioned itch.io, the Epic Store, things like that. My favourite thing about if the Steam Store was just available on Xbox consoles, several of PlayStation's exclusives are available on Steam. You'd be able to play PlayStation exclusives on an Xbox if Xbox allowed access to Steam. You could play Horizon Forbidden West on Xbox. And I find that amusing because Xbox is like, okay, we're going to give you some of our games, but we're going to what if we let Steam onto our console, and then we can just, like, take some of your games. Incompetent Hero says, I have a Series X, love it. My PS5 shows its dust and dirt after 3 days. I got different faceplates for my PS5. I've got, like, these nice light blue side plates on it. It looks so much nicer as a result of not having to fight the dust war with it constantly. Anim0 says, I imagine that, like with many other Steam things, it would allow publishers to opt out for that very reason. Can you? Can you, as a person who's got a game on Steam, say,
Should I open it?
This device is not allowed to play this Steam game for reasons? And if they could, do you think that PlayStation would go to that effort to stop that?
Let's finish it. Together. We only need one shot.
Like, genuine curiosity, I don't know whether that would bother PlayStation or not.
I won't hold back.
Right now, no, that's not an option in the back end. Yeah, I didn't think it was an option. As far as I'm aware, as long as, like, the hardware, like, all of the technical specs of your Steam game are met, I don't think a publisher can stop a device from purchasing your game on Steam, can they? As I understand it currently, there would be no option but for PlayStation to allow their games to be on Xbox at that point. Yeah, I imagine it would bother them, but I mean, there's a difference between it would bother them and it would be enough of a problem that they would try and completely, fundamentally change how things work with Steam to avoid it happening. This guy can heal himself quite considerably, so I need to really throw at the big heavy damage dealers here.
There's no way to fight.
But yes, I do love the thought of a world where Sea of Thieves is playable on PlayStation and Horizon Forbidden West is playable on Xbox. It sure would be... It sure would be a world. Come on, break down those exclusivity barriers, whatever weird ways you can, industry.
We should relish this moment.
Okay.
Oh, treasure ahoy!
Okay, here's our last person we needed to rescue.
No time to relax, I guess. This wound's deep.
I agree. I think it would be in everyone's interests, industry-wide, for that to be the case. For you to have the option of, I will purchase, what do we got? Got 54 million. Fuck it. No, I'll save it for the boss bit. I think it would be in everyone's best interest if both consoles had access to Steam, and you could theoretically, assuming that like they met the tech specs, you could play one console games on the other. I think the sooner we get to the world where these devices are basically different hardware, but they all can access the same storefronts, and theoretically the same games are available across them, the sooner we reach a world of essentially like the DVD player model of game console status, the better things are going to be industry-wide. I think a world where more software is more readily available to more people with fewer barriers, I think that is not going to hurt anyone's bottom line. Yeah, the consoles are so similar from a tech specs point of view anyway, at least PS5 and Xbox Series X. Yeah, but even so, like, we're in a world where not only are they so architecturally similar and spec similar, but both of the console manufacturers are bearing in mind the fact that like scalable hardware specs need to be kept in mind. Xbox wants to make sure that games release on the Series S and sort of mandates that from third parties. PlayStation wants their games, when they go to PC, to be able to run on Steam Deck, ideally, because that's a market they want to access. There are lower-end devices that are keeping scalability of console games in mind enough that, like, there's really not a lot of reason we couldn't have a lot more cross-platform porting happening and basically treating these like variations of the same kind of box.
My heart is yours.
Eve Steven says, PlayStation couldn't run Steam even if they wanted to because they are a Linux-based box. You're aware the Steam Deck's a Linux-based machine, right? Valve has been putting a lot of work into making sure, like famously the last couple of years, that you can run Steam and Steam's library of games in a Linux environment with a relative degree of accuracy and performance. That's been their whole push the last couple of years. Yeah, Valve uses Proton to do it. There's no reason that they couldn't make a Proton library available to PlayStation if PlayStation wanted Steam to be available on PlayStation. I'm sure Valve would go, cool, let's make access to Proton happen.
Who wants to go?
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm saying. SteamOS is Linux. Yeah. We are far from the days we used to be in of is this game supported on Linux, and if not, is there a can you run it through what was it called, Wine? Wine, I think, was the can I make this run pretending it's in Windows program of the day. Oh, Steamboxes were a thing, yeah. And honestly, controversial opinion, I think the time is right for a Steambox. I think if Valve were to release, like, if they were to release, like, one spec of machine and go, this is a home console you plug into your TV, but it's designed to run Steam via, like, the big picture mode, like SteamOS. It is a set degree of, like, hardware power, designed to be plugged into your TV. And they did the thing that they've been doing with Steam Deck, where it's like, this game is Steam Deck verified versus Steambox verified. I think there's a real market for, I want to buy a thing that, like, I can just sort of pretend it's a console, it has specific specs, and I know whether a PC game will run on this specific configuration for a Steam Deck range price point. I think they would find a market for that. There is a Steam Deck dock for TVs, and it is available, but obviously because the Steam Deck is trying to be portable, it it's not gonna run games as powerfully as it maybe could because screen size, portable form factor, and trying to keep it cool and trying to like not drain its battery that much. If you made something that was designed to be a home console, for a similar amount of money, you could squeeze a lot more. You could offer a lot more performance in a standardized package by, you know, building 2 specs of knowing this is going to be plugged into the mains and like its job is to be on the TV.
No begging for mercy now.
I mean, I have a Steam Deck dock, like, just here on my desk. I don't use it super often, but I've occasionally streamed PC games where I'm like, I just don't want the hassle of, like, running the game on the same machine I'm streaming it from. I will run it on the Steam Deck and then just use a wireless controller and plug it into my streaming software. Anam Zero says, I've been playing through the Yakuza series with a friend when I go out to visit her for a weekend, and docking the Steam Deck to her TV is a lot easier than lugging my first-gen PS4 over there, and usually better performance. Honestly, yeah. The Steam Deck is a remarkably good, like, dock-to-TV experience. It's good for specific stuff. Like, I'm not going to use it for everything, but, like, when me and Jane were playing through the co-op update, we got a review copy of the co-op update for Vampire Survivors ahead of that releasing. And, like, that was perfect fodder for... Jane's going to be playing Vampire Survivors on Steam Deck anyway. Plug the Steam Deck into the TV, connect a couple of controllers, great, done.
Doing better than I thought.
Oh, Dandelion, you'll always be able to use your buttermotes, at least here. I will fight for your right to buttermote. Right, end of the dungeon. Here we go. Nearly 2 hours deep, we have completed this leg of dungeon crawling with a quite nicely leveled up party. What we got? Yeah, mid 40s. Even Zhao's up to level 40 now. Considering he was like 15 levels behind everyone when we started. He was like level 20 versus like level 35, I think. He's catching up well. Oh, I should have given him the gear that makes him level faster, so he could have to help him catch up with the party. I'll, if I remember, I'll equip it to him in a minute. I'm gonna pay for a really expensive Poundmate summon. Let's summon in the person who still kind of wishes she could marry Kiryu. This is gonna be 10 million yen. Let's buy one of the fancy fucking Poundmates.
I'll book you on 5 counts of obstruction.
She's cracking down on them Yakuza.
This one's gonna hurt. Oh,
Follow my lead.
That was pretty good. Angel of Megadeth.
No begging for mercy now. What?
Yeah, we're gonna clear this real quick. Angel of Megadeth, you're gonna be Angel of Mega Dead. I mean, in Competent Hero, that's kind of the joke, is that in both the last Like a Dragon and this one, a person will find a flyer for Poundmates and assume it's an escort service, call them up, and then realize, oh, I've accidentally summoned a person a mate who's gonna pound my enemies for me. It is kind of the gag of the name.
There's more where this came from.
Hooray! We completed the second layer of the Yokohama Underground. What level am I expected to be for the final one? Also, ooh, we have cyber boots and cyber armor now. I'm gonna assume they're the new best gear available. Nope, still not better than the wedding dress or the wedding tiara. Let's see. What level do they recommend I be for the final set of floors? Recommended level 44 or more. We're probably ready for that. True Dragon Suit, Night Greaves. Yeah, there we go. I think we're going to leave it here for tonight. I know I started a little later and I'm ending a little later. This is, what, about 2 hours? I'll be back with a full-length stream on Friday. I'm a sleepy old bean. I've been working my little socks off. I'm going to get some rest. But, hey, look out tomorrow morning at 9:30 AM UK for a super cool thing on the BAFTA website where I write some stuff about Special Effect winning BAFTA's 2024 Special Award for BAFTA Games. And, hey, you might see someone you know from the Twitch chat in that piece. That's pretty cool. I don't know if I can say at this moment who it is, but, hey, if you like all the lovely folks here in Twitch chat, you'll get to see one of them on the BAFTA website tomorrow, and that's pretty fucking cool, so keep an eye out for that piece tomorrow, and I can't wait to share it, because it's a great piece, and I really like the stuff that the person from chat shared, and I can't wait to tell you who it was from chat that, you know, contributed to secret thing I worked on. Famous chat members indeed. So look forward to that tomorrow. I'll be back with another stream on Friday. Have a good rest of your day, everyone.